welcome back to our Business Tips. Michael Lapede here, going to talk to you a bit about what the difference is between a lender and an investor. Both will raise capital for your business. You can get money, capital, and so forth into your business through both a lender and an investor. But there's very different and a distinction between the two, and it's important to differentiate between them. There comes a time in business where you may need financing and you need to determine which one am I going to? Do I look for investors or do I look for lenders? And they both look different because a lender, let's just look at the balance sheet for example, when a lender gives you money, it shows as a liability. It shows that you have to pay that back. When an investor invests money, unless they're lending it, typically they're going to buy shares and they're going to be in the equity section. That looks, of course, a little better to any other financer or lender or so forth. But the bottom line is you may not want to have someone who's a shareholder, but if you are considering it, a lot of times people will use preferred shares with no voting rights, for example. Preferred shares have preferential treatment and payback, but maybe no voting rights to be able to control the company, for example. So the type of shares you might use or the type of mechanism you use also factors in. Now you might use things like debentures, and there's various other ways you can raise money, of course, but the bottom line is you want to make sure you're picking the right method. Do I want investors or do I want lenders? And when you are pitching those, I say pitching or proposing, you want to make sure, because they look so different, your pitch or your proposal looks different. So you might have one business plan for this and one business plan for that, for example. One for the lenders, one for the investor. They should look different slide deck or whatever it may be. Remember to focus when you're doing a lender, your focus is to ensure you're presenting realistic cash flow, because the lender is going to want to see there is cash flow. You can pay the debt back. That is the key for anything like that. Now, lenders may also ask for personal guarantees or general security agreements. That is becoming more of the norm nowadays until your company is very established. And even then, sometimes you're still personally guaranteed. So keep in mind that lending nowadays most likely in many cases requires a personal guarantee. So that's another factor. But again, you're projecting into the future. You're showing them projections that there's going to be cash flow to be able to pay back the loan. When you're pitching to investors, the difference is growth. They're not looking at just cash flow now. They're looking at what is the potential of growth of my investment. That's what they're looking for. A little different than the lender who just wants to be paid back. The investor goes, I want to make money in the future. I want to have a large asset here. I want dividends or whatever it may be. So it's a different pitch. It's a different breakdown of your financial projection and a different way to model things, because you want to show the growth and the potential of the company, not just the cash flow to be able to pay back the loan, because you're not maybe paying back this investment. So I think the biggest thing is come sit down with a professional, talk with us, talk with your professionals, make sure you know what you're getting into, so you know, am I getting a lender to give me money or am I getting an investor to give me money? Any questions? We'd love to hear from you. We'll see you in the next video.